saw how divide and conquer approach is useful in DFT. So now the next one in divide and conquer approaches, the next classification is radix to FFT. So in that the first classification is DIT FFT. So before that, let us see why we call it as DIT FFT and let us move on to the derivation. Okay. So this divide and conquer approach is applicable only if the n value is not prime. If the value of n is not prime, then we can apply divide and conquer approach to find out the DFT for the given sequence. So in particular, we can say that this value of n should be highly composite, which means that n is factored as R1, R2 into R3 up to Rv, where all this R values, I generally term it as Rj, so where j is nothing but it ranges from 1 to v, are nothing but prime. Okay. Only if this condition is satisfied, then only divide and conquer approach can be applied. So if we take a case where the value of R1, R2, R3 up to the value of Rv are equal to R. So what happens to this particular equation? So I can directly write this equation as R into R into R, which is nothing but equal to R to the power of V. Okay, where this R gives the size of DFT and it is called as radix. The name given to R is called as radix. If the value of this R is equal to 2, then we call it as radix to FFT algorithm. If it is equal to 4, we call it as radix for FFT algorithm. Now let us try to compute the value, that is n point DFT, which is equal to 2 power v, that is radix to FFT, by applying divide and conquer approach. Okay. So if we apply divide and conquer approach, what we do is we take a substitution where m is equal to n by 2 and the value of L is equal to 2. If this particular selection is done, so this results in the splitting of n point DFT to n by 2 and n by 2 point DFT based on even and odd numbered samples. That is, if I want to compute n is equal to 2 power v point DFT, and if I select the value of m is equal to n by 2 and the value of L which is equal to R, this selection results in the splitting up of n point DFT into n by 2 and n by 2 point DFT based on even and odd number indexing, which results in the standard function, that is f1 of n, which is equal to x of 2n, similarly f2 of n, which is equal to x of 2n plus 1. So this is for even, so this is for odd. Okay. Now let us see how we got the standard equation. Okay. So if we look into that, so let me consider the value of n be equal to 8. If n is equal to 8, x of n will be equal to x of 0, x of 1, x of 2, x of 3 up to x of 7. Okay. Now what I said, we divide n point DFT into n by 2 and n by 2 point DFT based on even and odd numbered samples. Now if I first divide this on even numbered samples, I am terming it as xe of n. This will be equal to, what are the even numbered sample? It is nothing but x of 0, x of 2, x of 4 and x of 6. Out of this, these are the even numbered samples. Similarly, if I divide odd numbered samples, this will be equal to x of 1, x of 3, x of 5 and x of 7. Okay. Here what was the value of n which we took? N is equal to 8. After dividing based on even and odd numbered samples, how many samples we have here? we have 4 samples here. Here also we have 4 samples. So what it is? It is nothing but n by 2, n by 2. So the same thing we got here. Okay. So based on this expression only, I have written the standard equation. If the value of n is equal to 0, so what will be the value of f1 of 0? That will be equal to x of 2 into 0 is 0. That is equal to x of 0. So the first sample in even numbered sequence is x of 0 after dividing. If n is equal to 1, this becomes x of 2. What is the second sample? X of 2, and it goes on. Similarly, for odd numbered samples, if n is equal to 0, it becomes x of 2 into 0 is 0 plus 1 is 1. So it becomes x of 1. So the first sample in odd numbered sequence is x of 1, correct? Similarly, if n is equal to 1, what happens to this term? It becomes 2 into 1 plus 1 is 3. So the second sample is x of 3. Like this, from that particular thing I deduce the standard equations. Okay. So what we do, again we divide this based on even and odd numbered. We take even number sample. So let us label this as the first zeroth sample, first sample, second and third sample. Now in even, I am searching for even numbered samples. So which are the even numbered samples? This one and this one based on the indexing. So this is x of 0 and x of 4. In even number, let me search for odd indexed samples, that is x even of odd of n. So which are those? So one is given to x of 2 and indexing 3 is given for x of 6. Okay. Similarly, in odd, let us give the indexing 0, 1, 2 and 3. So in odd sequence, I need to find out even labeled index of n. So which are those? This one and this one, because here the indexing is 0, which is even, and similarly 2 is even. So those terms are x of 1 and x of 5. Similarly, x odd of n will be equal to x of 3 and x of 7. So this is what we do in divide and conquer approach, that is we take n point DFT and we divide that into n by 2 and n by 2 point DFT. Then we take n by 2 point DFT, that is even divided samples, and then we divide it to n by 4 and n by 4. So are we divided? So the value of n is 8, 8 by 4 is 2. So we have 2 samples here, 2 samples here, similarly 2 samples here, 2 samples here. So this was the division with respect to even numbered samples, and this was with respect to odd. Again this will be n by 4 and n by 4. So this is with respect to odd, this is with respect to even numbered samples. So like this we perform divide and conquer approach. So with the particular thing we got the standard equation. So this f1 of n and f2 of n are obtained by decimating the sequence x of n by a factor of 2. Since we decimate x of n by a factor of 2, we call this particular fast Fourier transform algorithm as decimation in time domain fast Fourier transform. So you are decimating the discrete time sequence, you call it as decimation in time fast Fourier transform. This is why the name given as DIT FFT algorithm. Now let us try to compute the n point DFT, how it is split, and let us see how it looks. Okay. Before that, looking into this, so these are nothing but the pairs which we get in the butterfly structure. So whenever we use DIT FFT algorithm, so how data shuffling is done and how bit reversal is done is as shown in figure. So this figure tells how the particular data is shuffled and how bit reversal of the data is done. So why this is needed? Because in DIT FFT algorithm we always write the input data in bit reversed order. So this figure is very important. Okay. Now let us move on to the derivation. The n point DFT can be expressed in terms of DFTs of the decimated sequence with the help of this particular derivation. Now what I have done is I have considered the DFT equation. Now what we did, we took up x of n and we divided it into n by 2 and n by 2 point DFT based on even and odd numbered samples. So let me divide it like that only. So x of k, which is equal to summation when n is even x of n omega n to the power of kn plus summation when n is odd x of n omega n to the power of kn. Okay. Now I need to give the limits for even. So when we divided the sequence x of n into n by 2 point DFT and n by 2 point DFT, the first sample which we had was 0 and the last samples which we had was x of 6. Based on that, if I give the limits, x of k will be equal to n ranges from 0 to n minus 2 x of n into omega n to the power of kn. Okay. What was the sequence which we got? So it was nothing but x of 0, x of 1, x of 0, x of 2, x of 4 and x of 6. So it is initially starting from 0. So I have taken the initial value as 0 and the upper limit is 6. So n minus 2. In this example, the value of n which I took was 8. 8 minus 2 is 6. So it gives all the odd numbered samples. Similarly, so the range for n odd will be from 1 to n minus 1 x of n into omega n to the power of kn. Okay. So the odd samples were starting from x of 1 and it was ending at x of 7. So in this example the value is 8, 8 minus 1 is 7, so I took it as n minus 1. So this is how we write the limits for n. Okay. Now let us take substitution for even function and odd function, that is let n be equal to 2r for even. Okay. If it is equal to 2r, so the limit changes, that is if n is equal to 0, what happens to r? R is equal to n by 2 which is equal to 0. Similarly, if n is equal to n minus 2, r is equal to n minus 2 by 2. So this can be written as n by 2 minus 1. Okay. So this was with respect to even data. Now I need to do the same thing for odd, that is let the value of n be equal to 2r plus 1 for odd. I am taking this from the standard equation, that is f1 of n was equal to x of 2n for even. For odd it was equal to 2n plus 1. Instead of taking it as n, I am replacing it with a variable r. Why? I have already having a variable n. Okay. Now if I take the limits for n, if n is equal to, what is the lower limit? 1. So r will be equal to, let me find out the equation of r, it is n minus 1 by 2. So if I substitute the value of n as 1 in this equation, so 1 minus 1 is 0, 0 divided by anything is 0. Similarly, if n is equal to n minus 1, r will be equal to, if I substitute the value of n as n minus 1 in this equation, it becomes n minus 1 by 2. It is nothing but n minus 2 by 2, which can be written as n by 2 minus 1. So we found out the change in limits also. Now let us substitute in this particular equation. So if I substitute, x of k will be equal to summation r ranges from 0 to n by 2 minus 1 x of, wherever we have n in the first term, replace it with 2r into omega n to the power of k into 2r plus summation r ranges from 0 to n by 2 minus 1. In the second term, wherever we have n, I need to replace it with 2r plus 1. So let us replace, that is x of 2r plus 1 into omega n to the power of k into 2r plus 1. Okay. Now let us write the twiddle factor term separately and let us see what we are going to get. So this will be equal to summation r ranges from 0 to n by 2 minus 1 x of 2r omega n 2kr plus summation r ranges from 0 to n by 2 minus 1 x of 2r plus 1 into omega n 2kr into omega n to the power of k. Okay, but what is omega n to the power of 2kr? So it is nothing but equal to e power minus j 2 pi by n into 2kr. Yes or no? So can I write it like this? So this can also be written as e power minus j 2 pi kr whole divided by n by 2. What I have done, I have moved this 2 to the denominator term. Okay. So can I rewrite this in terms of twiddle factor as omega kr n by 2? Yes, we can write. Whenever here it was n, I wrote it here as n. Whatever I had here, I wrote it here. Now it is nothing but the vice versa of that. Here I have only kr, I have written it as kr. In the denominator I have n by 2, I have written it as n by 2. So what I need to do is, in this equation, wherever I have that particular term, that is omega n to the power of 2kr, let us replace it with this particular term. And since this twiddle factor term is not at all varying with respect to r, let us move it outside the summation. Therefore, x of k will be equal to summation r ranges from 0 to n by 2 minus 1 x of 2r into omega n by 2 to the power of kr plus omega n to the power of k into summation r ranges from 0 to n by 2 minus 1 x of 2r plus 1 into omega n by 2 to the power of kr. Okay. Now looking into this entire data, is it similar to our DFT equation, that is summation n ranges from 0 to n minus 1 x of n into omega n to the power of kn? Yes. So let us take this entire term as a variable which is equal to gk, where gk is nothing but equal to summation r ranges from 0 to n by 2 minus 1 x of 2r into omega n by 2 to the power of kr plus, let us rewrite this as it is, and let this entire term be replaced with h of k, where the range of k is from n by 2 minus 1. Okay. So this is done. Now if I need to find out the value of x of k plus n by 2, what happens? Let us see. That is, replace k with k plus n by 2. So x of k plus n by 2 will be equal to x of k plus n by 2 plus omega n to the power of k plus n by 2 into h of k plus n by 2. Okay. We have already studied the periodicity property. What the periodicity property says? It is nothing but, from periodicity property, g of k plus n by 2 can be written as g of k. And so let me write it here. From which property? From periodicity, g of k plus n by 2 will be equal to g of k, and h of k plus n by 2 will be equal to h of k. Similarly, we have already studied the property of twiddle factor also. So which is that property? Symmetric property. So from symmetry property, what I can do? So we know omega n to the power of k plus n by 2 can be written as minus omega n to the power of k. Let us replace that also and let us rewrite the same equation. What I did, we know that omega n to the power of k plus n by 2 will be equal to minus omega n to the power of k. I have tabulated the standard x of k equation as it is. This equation is nothing but the last x of k plus n by 2 equation. So from periodicity property, I substituted g of k plus n by 2 as g of k, h of k plus n by 2 as h of k, omega n to the power of k plus n by 2 is nothing but equal to this. I have substituted this. So what we did, we deduced n point DFT to n by 2 and n by 2 point DFT. Now let us take g of k and let us try to divide that into n by 4 and n by 4 point DFT. What I have done here is I have tabulated g of k. So what we have got the same thing I have written. So if I divide this based on even and odd numbered sequence, so we get it as summation r ranges from 0 to n by 2 minus 2 x of 2r omega n by 2 to the power of kr plus summation r ranges from 1 to n by 2 minus 1 x of 2r omega n by 2 to the power of kr. Now let me take substitution for even as well as odd as we did previously. So for even I am replacing it with r is equal to 2l. If so, if r is equal to 0, the lower limit l will be equal to 0. If I take the higher limit, that is if r is equal to n by 2 minus 2, l will be equal to n by 4 minus 1. Similarly for odd, let r be equal to 2l plus 1. So if r is equal to 1, l becomes 0. If r is equal to n by 2 minus 1, l will be equal to n by 4 minus 1. So let us write all the substitution in this particular equation. So if I do so, this is the equation which I am going to get, that is g of k, which is equal to summation l ranges from 0 to n by 4 minus 1 x of 2, instead of r I have substituted it as 2l omega n by 2 k 2l plus summation l ranges from 0 to n by 4 minus 1 x of 2. Since the second term was with respect to odd numbered samples, instead of r I have replaced it with 2l plus 1 omega n by 2 k into 2l plus 1. So in the next step what I did was, so I have written this directly multiplying these two things and I have splitted this twiddle factor terms. After this we know omega n by 2 to the power of k 2kl can be written as e power minus j 2 pi by n by 2 into 2kl. So now let me move this 2 to the denominator, can be written like this, again rewriting this in terms of twiddle factor. It is nothing but equal to omega n by 4 to the power of kl. Now substituting this thing in this equation, wherever I have this term, I have replaced it with this term and I have taken omega n to the power of k outside the summation. Now looking into this term, is this term similar to the DFT equation? Yes, so let me write it as g of k be equal to ak. Let me take a substitution, instead of writing this entire thing, let me write it as ak plus omega n to the power of k. So again this is similar to our DFT equation, let us write it as dk, where the range of k is from 0 to n by 4 minus 1. So if I want to find out g of k plus n by 2, this will be equal to a of k plus n by 2 plus omega n k plus n by 2 into b of k plus n by 2. Yes or no? So from periodicity property, a of k plus n by 2 will be equal to a of k, b of k plus n by 2 will be equal to b of k. So from symmetry property of twiddle factor, omega n to the power of k plus n by 2 will be equal to minus omega n to the power of k. So substituting this, g of k plus n by 2 will be equal to a of k minus omega n to the power of k into bk, and the range of k is from 0 to n by 4 minus 1. Similarly, we need to do it for h of k also. So we can decimate the given input sequence again and again until and unless I get only one sample. Okay. So this is about how we decimate the taken input sequence and how we divide n point DFT into n by 2 point DFT, n by 2 point DFT into n by 4 point DFT by applying divide and conquer approach. To compute n point DFT, which is equal to 2 power b, the number of decimations required is, so the number of decimation we can do is, it is nothing but log n to the base 2 times we can decimate the given sequence, and the number of complex multiplication required is n by 2 log n to the base 2, and the number of complex additions which we perform by using DIT FFT algorithm is n log n to the base 2. Okay. So this is all about DIT FFT algorithm, and the figure shows the basic computation of DFT with the help of DIT FFT algorithm. This structure is called as butterfly structure. So this structure is constructed by assuming the value of n as 8. So if the value of n is equal to 8, if I express in this particular form, I can write it as 2 power 3. So the value of V is nothing but equal to 3, which tells it has 3 stages. So looking into the figure, how many butterfly structures we have? The stages, the first stage, second and the third stage. So this 3 tells how many stages we have, that is nothing but the value for V. Okay. This figure is also called as signal flow diagram, or it is called as butterfly structure for DIT FFT. So with the help of this structure only we will solve problems. So what we do here is we take a number A and B, okay, and A and B is multiplied with the twiddle factor term, that is B is multiplied with the twiddle factor term, that is the second term is multiplied with the twiddle factor term, then that particular product term is added and subtracted from A. Okay. The same basic computation is performed with the help of this figure. So this is all about DIT FFT algorithm. So thank you for today's session.